What is up everybody, it's Animac here for AnimeUproar, and in this video we will be counting down the top 10 strongest students in the world of Boku no Hero, including students from different classes and grades in UA, and also students from other hero academies. We will be focusing on combat capability in particular. Now, different quirks have different strengths and weaknesses, and some of these students have never fought against each other in a serious capacity. But I will use what we know about each student and their quirks thus far, including the feats that they were able to achieve in the story. I will be going by how strong each character is at their peak, and not just how strong their quirk is on its own. Before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to the My Hero Academia Amino app. I've been using Amino for over a year now because Amino has a ton of interesting communities that offer a great way to interact with thousands of other fans. I've been a member of the MHA Amino for a long time. It's such a fun and interactive place to be. And I love checking out fan art, sharing my content, and getting feedback from fellow fans. And nowadays, with all the Season 3 hype, I often see well over 1,000 people online at the same time. We have our own AnimeUproar profile, and because we have so many ideas for future MHA videos, I created a poll where you guys can vote for which video you want to see next. The poll will be up for a limited time only, so once you get the app, just look for AnimeUproar and follow us. Like right now, let's do it. You can download the app, it's totally free for iPhone or Android, just check the link in the description. And a huge thank you to Amino for supporting AnimeUproar and making it possible for us to keep making more content. Quick warning that this video will contain manga spoilers, as some of the students in the top 10 have not yet been introduced in the anime. I'll do my best to explain my logic for how I rank them in the video, but this is not an exact science, so if you disagree with anything, feel free to give me your arguments down in the comments. Oh, and if you enjoyed the Boku no Hero content on this channel and you want to see more, you can let me know by leaving a like. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and United States of smash that notification bell. At number 10, we have Judo Kirishima from class 1A. The name of his quirk is hardening, and it essentially allows Kirishima to harden and sharpen any part of his body. Using his quirk also gives Kirishima extra physical strength and the ability to withstand immensely powerful attacks, including explosions. Kirishima cannot stay in his hardened mode forever, and if he takes enough damage, he will revert back to normal. But although he wouldn't have made this list earlier on in the story, as of right now, Kirishima has made a lot of progress both with his quirk and with his overall training. After mastering his super move, Red Riot Unbreakable, Kirishima gains the ability to withstand practically any attack without taking on damage. And during the internship arc, he is able to face off against extremely strong and experienced Yakuza members Rappa and Tengai. And eventually, Kirishima emerges victorious in this battle with the help of pro hero Fat Gum. For this reason, I feel that Kirishima deserves to be in the top 10 strongest students at this point in the story. At number 9, we have Yo Shindo, a second-year student at Ketsubutsu Hero Academy. The name of his quirk is Vibrate, and it enables him to send powerful vibrations through anything he touches. During the Provisional Hero License exam, Shindo demonstrates the ability to create a massive earthquake by touching the ground, and this earthquake completely reshapes the entire battlefield. He can control the speed and intensity of the vibrations that he creates, so he can choose to create a violent earthquake or just a slight tremor. Shindo is also shown to be very strategic, and part of the reason why he reshapes the battlefield is to split up the UA students so they can't keep working together. Shindo's quirk does have a drawback, which is that his body will feel aftershocks after he uses it, and if he uses too much power, he could damage his body. However, having to constantly deal with aftershocks has actually made him more resistant to attacks that cause vibrations and tremors, including Gang Orca's supersonic waves. The reason that Shindo doesn't rank even higher on this list is the fact that the drawback of his quirk could prove to be a big problem in longer battles. And also because we haven't seen that much of him yet, but I definitely think that he deserves to be at number 9. At number 8, we have Nejire Hado, a third-year student at UA and one of the members of the Big Three. Nejire's quirk enables her to turn her own life energy into shockwaves that she can then use against her opponents. She can also use the shockwaves to move around quickly and jump through the air as if she were flying. So her quirk is obviously both very strong and useful, and as an outstanding student, Nejire has been able to harness her quirk's potential in order to become one of the top 3 heroes in training at UA. I believe that Nejire has definitely earned her place as one of the top 10 strongest students, but the reason that she doesn't rank even higher on this list is that her quirk depends on Nejire using up her own energy or stamina. So the amount of power that she can generate at any given time is limited, and if she exceeds this limit, Nejire will collapse from fatigue. At number 7, we have Class 1A student Katsuki Bakugo. And yes, I know what the Bakugo fanboys like my good buddy Jordan the Anime Dude are thinking.
Bakugo is only at number 7? But he's the greatest of all time. He's the GOAT. Baku GOAT.
Man, I bet that this is his actual face right now. But before you freak out, hear me out. If you don't end up agreeing with my reasoning, by all means give me your reasoning down in the comments. Oh, and feel free to check out the Anime Dude's channel, link in the description. Bakugo is definitely one of the strongest students in Class 1A, and his quirk Explosion allows him to generate sweat that is similar in its chemical makeup to nitroglycerin, an explosive liquid which enables Bakugo to generate powerful explosions from his hands. Bakugo uses grenadier bracers, the things on his hands that look like giant hand grenades, in order to maximize the effectiveness of his quirk. The bracers allow him to store sweat and make his blasts more powerful while also protecting him from hurting himself while using the quirk. Explosion is a very versatile ability, and it can be used to launch a single piercing blast or a rapid-fire barrage of smaller blasts. Bakugo also uses the explosions to move faster and to propel himself through the air, and because he is very intelligent and strategic in battle, Bakugo is able to use his quirk to great effect in any combat situation. However, Bakugo can also be too brash and rush into battle before properly assessing the situation. On top of that, his quirk does have certain limitations, like being more difficult to use in cold weather because it requires sweat, and overuse of the quirk will also put a strain on the user's body. And while Bakugo has definitely shown himself to be a very strong fighter throughout the series, including when he won the entire sports festival tournament, Bakugo's brashness and temper have also proven to be a clear disadvantage, including during the provisional hero license exam. For this reason, I feel that the students that are still to come on this list have shown themselves to be even more effective fighters than Bakugo. At number 6, we have Seiji Shishikura, a second-year student from the Shiketsu Hero Academy. His quirk, called Meatball, allows Seiji to control and alter human flesh. If he makes contact with the bodies of his rivals, Seiji can turn them into motionless balls of meat. He can also break off parts of his own flesh and control them separately from his body. So he can basically use a part of his flesh to sneak up on an opponent from behind without the opponent even realizing what's happening before being turned into a helpless meatball. During the hero license exam arc, we see Seiji use his quirk to take out between 15 and 20 different students at the same time, including Bakugo himself. Seiji is ultimately defeated because Kaminari is able to use an assist from Bakugo to damage Seiji enough so that his quirk would wear off. And this is the only known weakness that Seiji has. His quirk wears off if he suffers enough damage. But the fact that Seiji took down between 15 and 20 opponents on his own, including Bakugo, before finally being defeated, demonstrates the incredible strength of Seiji and his weird meat processing quirk. Seiji is definitely not perfect, and Bakugo and Denki did manage to outwit him together, but he still earned his place at number 6 on our list. At number 5, Inasa Yashi, a first-year student from the Shiketsu Hero Academy. Inasa has a wind-based quirk which enables him to create and control wind gusts, and he has demonstrated a great deal of precision with his power. He can use the wind to create powerful offensive attacks like tornadoes, and thanks to some special customizations on his suit, he can also use his wind quirk to propel himself forward and to make himself fly. His quirk is so strong that during the first round of the Provisional Hero License exam, he was able to eliminate 120 rival students at once, which speaks to his incredible power. In the past, Inasa actually took part in the UA entrance exam with Todoroki and Deku, and even though he performed really well and finished the exam just ahead of Todoroki, he decided to decline the offer of admission and to go to Shiketsu High instead. Due to the insane power of his quirk, and due to the fact that he worked hard to be able to control it with great skill and precision, Inasa lands at number 5 on our list. At number 4, Class 1A student Shoto Todoroki. As a result of his quirk, half cold, half hot, Todoroki can generate powerful flames from the left side of the body, and from the right side of his body he is able to generate ice and use it to freeze objects and people around him. He can even create giant walls of ice and freeze entire buildings. In the beginning of the story, Shoto only uses the ice side of his quirk, refusing to use the fire side because of his hatred for his father Endeavor. As a result, he lost to Bakugo in the finals of the sports festival, but since then Shoto has come to terms with using the hot side of his quirk. And he has come a long way in mastering both sides and using them effectively in combination with each other. The one drawback of his quirk is that if he uses either side too much, Todoroki can suffer physical consequences, either frostbite from his cold side or potentially dehydration and exhaustion from his hot side. However, if he uses both sides of his quirk in a complementary way, he can largely counterbalance the negative effects of one side or the other. Because of the OP nature of his quirk, because he is an extremely gifted and skillful fighter, and because he is continuing to improve and develop as the story progresses, Todoroki lands at number 4 on our list. At number 3, we have another Class 1A student, Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku. This student and his quirk need no introduction, but to be brief, Deku is the 9th and current user of One For All, a quirk that is the synthesis of 2 previously separate quirks. A quirk that stockpiles power, and a quirk that allows quirks to be willingly transferred from one person to another. One For All gives its user superhuman strength, reflexes, stamina, agility, and speed. And One For All also has some additional mysterious powers that we are not fully informed about, such as the ability to somehow snap Deku out of Shinso's mind control quirk during the sports festival. Now, I can already hear some people saying, bro, my boy Deku should be number 1, and other people saying Deku is way too overrated, he shouldn't be this high on the list. But in this case, the feats speak for themselves, and whether we like it or not, Deku was able to defeat the extremely powerful and experienced villain Muscular on his own. He was also able to defeat the Gentle Criminal on his own, even though Gentle was shown taking out multiple pro heroes by himself. And Deku beat Gentle even while he was getting help from La Brava's quirk. Deku was also the one who finally defeated Fused Overhaul, albeit with Eri's help. No other student that we talked about so far has achieved comparable feats, so even if you think that it is problematic for a first year student to be so strong already, you will have to take that up with Horikoshi, not with me. At number 2, we have Tamaki Ammaji Ki, another member of the UA's Big 3. Tamaki Ammaji Ki's hero name is Sun Eater, and his quirk Manifest allows its user to transform his body in a unique way. His body can manifest the properties of the things he eats, such as turning his fingers into tentacles after eating octopus. Along with that, Tamaki can manifest the properties of multiple different substances at the same time and combine them on his body. So for example, if he eats both octopus and crab, he can manifest a claw and tentacles on his hand at the same time. Even if he consumes objects that are not necessarily food, such as a small piece of crystal, he can then manifest hardened crystals on his body. The ability to manifest the properties of the things he consumes only lasts for as long as he has the objects in his digestive system. So Tamaki tries to eat a wide variety of different useful foods every day in order to always be ready in case he needs to use his quirk. Tamaki was able to defeat multiple seasoned villains at the same time by himself. We basically see him take out 3 of Overhaul's strong and experienced henchmen on his own. And because of his extensive training and experience with an already awesome and versatile quirk, Tamaki lands at number 2 on our list. Before we get to the number 1 strongest student, I want to talk about some honorable mentions. We have students like Tokoyami and Kaminari who have extremely strong quirks but haven't mastered them fully yet and still lose control sometimes. So that is why they are not on this list at this time, but this could change in the future. Remember that this list is about the strength of the character, not the quirk itself. We also have Shiketsu High School students Kami and Mora, who have strong quirks and look like future contenders for the top 10. But we just haven't seen them in action often enough to say for sure, especially when it comes to the real Kami. For fans of Class 1B, I think Neito, Kendo, Ibara, Tetsu, and a few others have great potential, but we need to see them do more in the story. And finally, characters like Momo and Hitoshi Shinso have awesome quirks that could propel them to the top. But so far, they just haven't shown as much as the 10 students on this list in terms of raw fighting ability in particular. Don't forget that this list is primarily about combat skills. And at number 1, Mirio Toccata. The final member of the UA's Big Three, Mirio aka Lemillion, is perhaps the single hardest working and most dedicated student of all. Even though his quirk is extremely hard to use, Mirio underwent painstaking training in order to master it. The name of his quirk is Permeation, and it allows its user's body or specific parts of his body to pass through anything that is either solid or liquid, including walls, floors, and ceilings. Although for the time he is permeable, he cannot use his senses and so he cannot see or hear anything, Mirio is also able to effectively teleport from one place to another using his quirk. If he turns his quirk off while passing through an object, his body will be quickly shot out of the object in a way that makes it appear that he is teleporting from one place to another. Through training, Mirio is able to control the direction of the ejections, allowing him to rapidly appear exactly where he wants to be. In terms of feats, Mirio is capable of defeating all of Class 1A by himself in a very short period of time, which alone should tell you how insanely strong this guy is. He is also able to get the better of Overhaul and Chronostasis until they use Aries Safety as a way to catch him off guard and hit him with the quirk destroying bullet. But nevertheless, when he has the full use of his quirk, Mirio is, without a doubt, the strongest student in Boku no Hero. And that's it for the list. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more, you can let me know by leaving a like. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and United States of smash that notification bell. Be sure to leave your feedback in the comments, and you can also hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.